Imagine a life so long it defies every law of nature, every scientific understanding. A life stretching across centuries, silently witnessed by generations who came and went, while one individual remained seemingly untouched by time. What if I told you there's an account, not of myth or legend, but of a real person, whose existence is reported to have spanned over 200 years? This isn't a fairy tale. This is the story of Li Qing Yuan, a man whose purported age challenges our very perception of mortality. But who was he, and how could such an extraordinary claim possibly be true? To unravel this incredible tale, we must first transport ourselves to Imperial China, specifically the remote mountains of Sichuan province. This is where, in 1933, articles began to appear in major Western newspapers, including the New York Times and Time magazine, carrying an astonishing claim: a Chinese herbalist named Li Qing Yuan had just died at the age of 256. Not 156, but 256. Think about that for a moment. This man would have been born in 1677, living through the Qing dynasty, witnessing the Opium Wars, the fall of the empire, and the tumultuous birth of the Chinese Republic. The initial reports were sensational, almost unbelievable. They described a man who, even in his later years, possessed clear eyes, a youthful gait, and a full set of teeth. He was said to have fathered children in his 60s and to have had 23 wives, some of whom outlived him by centuries, or at least that is what the stories claimed. But how did these incredible claims surface, and were there any threads of truth woven into this fantastical tapestry? The story gained traction due to Professor Wu Chengqie, a dean at Chungking University, who found imperial Chinese government records from 1827 congratulating Li Qing Yuan on his 150th birthday. Further documents, the professor claimed, showed congratulations on his 200th birthday in 1877. These official records, if authentic, would provide an undeniable anchor for his extreme age. But the context of these records, their accessibility, and the academic rigor of their verification in the early 20th century all remain subjects of deep speculation and considerable doubt. Li himself, in interviews given shortly before his death, claimed to have been born in 1736, which would still make him an astonishing 197 years old. He attributed his longevity to a diet of herbs like lingzhi, goji berry, wild ginseng, heshu wu, and gotu kola, and most importantly to a tranquil mind, a peaceful spirit, and a diet of simple self-cultivated foods. He famously said, "Keep a quiet heart, sit like a tortoise, walk sprightly like a pigeon, and sleep like a dog." A simple philosophy perhaps, but enough to extend a life to 2 centuries? As the legend grew, so did the details. Li Qing Yuan was reportedly a martial artist, a qigong practitioner, and a master of Taoist breathing techniques. He was said to have spent his early life in the mountains learning about herbs and living a solitary existence. He transitioned into selling herbs in his later years, traveling extensively. Many accounts speak of him having met other centenarians and even supercentenarians, men who taught him secrets of longevity, further embedding him in a mysterious lineage of long-lived sages. But verifying these other long-livers becomes an exercise in chasing smoke. Local villagers in Sichuan, where he was said to reside, reported seeing him over many decades, always appearing to be of advanced age but never seeming to truly fail. They spoke of him with a mixture of reverence and awe. Some claimed their grandfathers remembered Li when they were young boys, and Li already seemed ancient. This anecdotal evidence, while compelling, relies heavily on oral tradition and the human tendency to embellish captivating stories over generations. The strongest and perhaps most dramatic pieces of evidence came from General Yang Sen, a Chinese warlord, who was so captivated by the tales of Li Qing Yuan that he invited him to his residence in 1927. General Sen, upon meeting Li, was reportedly astounded by his vitality and youthfulness. He documented his observations and later wrote a book about Li, describing his good health, his physical prowess, and his almost mystical presence. This meeting, captured in photographs that show a frail but remarkably composed old man, cemented Li's image in the public consciousness. But even here, the general's accounts could be interpreted through the lens of a man seeking notoriety, associating himself with a human wonder. What truly happened? Did General Sen's quest for a longevity secret lead him to unwittingly perpetuate a myth? Or was there genuinely something extraordinary about Li Qingyuan? The world's top gerontologists and demographers dismiss the claims as entirely unsubstantiated, citing a lack of verifiable birth records, census data, and a scientific understanding of human cell degeneration. They argue that attributing such an extreme age to an individual without concrete proof opens the door to countless unprovable claims, eroding the very basis of historical and scientific inquiry. Yet the story persists. It continues to be shared, discussed, and debated, not just as a historical curiosity, but as a testament to the enduring human fascination with extending life, with defying the inevitable. Was Li Qingyuan a master con artist? A series of different people all using the same name? Or was he something else entirely, a true anomaly, a living legend whose secrets died with him? To this day, the true age of Li Qingyuan remains shrouded in mystery, a captivating blend of historical claims, anecdotal evidence, and profound skepticism. If his story were true, it would fundamentally alter our understanding of human biology and the very limits of life. Perhaps he simply represents the pinnacle of ancient wisdom on health and longevity, or perhaps he was a beacon of hope for those who dreamt of transcending mortal bounds. We may never definitively know the truth, but the tale of the 200-year-old man who shouldn't exist continues to echo, a haunting question mark in the annals of human history. If the mysteries of an extended life intrigue you, then you might be fascinated by the next video, exploring the scientific pursuit of immortality and the incredible advancements that could one day turn science fiction into reality.